So I didn't make an unboxing video just because there's already an unboxing video and a build video of this chassis up at their Facebook group, which I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can check it out. But they sold out on all of these. I was lucky enough to be able to get one. I've taken out everything from the package, and everything just comes in these like Ziploc bags. And they're labeled like A, B, C, and so forth. Right away, I was able to notice that it came with magnet mounts. And my friend Tony, which I was also able to get a chassis for, he was able to get one from Chan, and he noticed on a video that he thought it came with mini Z mounts. So I checked, and it does actually. So it comes with mini Z mounts, and it also comes with magnet mounts. And they came with a free servo. I was actually gonna pull out the one that I just put in my super skeeter to put in here, because that's the exact one the guy used in the video. But the fact that they supply you with one, I'm just gonna give it a shot and see how this one works. It says it's Drift Queen brand. Never heard of this brand or seen this brand, so we'll see how that goes. Just a quick look at the chassis, and this has like a little adjustment plate in the middle, so you see how like it's actually cut right here. You can slide these two pieces in and out, and they're screwed together by this plate. So you can go, I believe, from 90 millimeters to around 120, but I feel like you could actually go even longer if needed, but I don't think you'd need to go that long. The knuckles and everything are made out of plastic. And this is half of the gearbox put together. And I've seen videos of this car being with the motor set up in the front. Oh gosh, 1 second. Set up like this in front, but you can also just grab the motor mount and twist it to mount it the other way, and you can have the motor on the rear end instead of, well, the RR, so the rear, I forget how you actually say it, but it'll be the rear of the drive shaft versus it being in the front of the drive shaft. So it's still rear motor, but even the rear of the rear. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with the build. I followed the manual, because there's some guy on YouTube. Well, not YouTube, Facebook. And on the Facebook group, he shows part by part on how to build this car. But I don't know, he said that these end links right here, the tie rods, were supposed to be at 19.5. And when I put them at 19.5, it had a crazy amount of positive camber. And even now, after I've turned them a bit, giving it 4 turns each side, it still has positive camber. So I'm gonna have to adjust that. I do like how it like droops, and I do like how these shocks feel. The shocks have a little pin at the bottom. You can see that little pin, and it doesn't go straight into plastic. Inside that little shock, the top piece, you actually slip in this like Teflon tube, and since it's not just, hard plastic like a mold, this little rod flows so smooth into this shock, or technically into this little tube that's inside that shock. So the suspension is butter on here. The front, I just need to adjust this so I could have a little bit more stiffness, because right now it's just way too soft. But the front, they give you 4 different versions of technically upper and lower arms, and they give you them in the form of a standoff. And this is the shortest version. This is a little bit longer. I have the third longest on there, and then this is the fourth longest. I did not measure them, but I'll actually just do that right now since it's not that hard. Let me just grab my caliper. And it's at 0. So the first ones that you get are about 5 millimeters. The second ones are, let's see, 6. The third ones were probably 7. And we'll check this one out. If this one was 8, then that one was most likely 7. Yep, 8. So you get 3, 4. My bad. You get 5, 6, 7, and 8 millimeters. So I added the 7. And then on top, I also added 2 mils with this nut. On the bottom, I also have the 7, but I added 1 mil with this little washer. And the reason I did that is because they actually give you 2 different steering turnbuckle threaded rods. This is the first one. The one that's in here is significantly longer. So you can choose to have a short wheelbase, track width, or a long track width. So if I show you the car from here, you can see how the rear is tiny or pushed inwards versus the rear is pushed out. And that's really just a drift car luck because you need the angle / need the clearance. So that's what I really like. And my friend Tony and I couldn't figure out what they used for the stopper, but then I found the pins, and the pins are actually just jammed into the knuckle. And you can see it stops it right there. And this is the angle that I've achieved, and it's pretty good from the looks of it, just because I have not driven the car yet. I'm still in the process of putting electronics in it. It came with this servo, which was this brand, Drift Queen. I don't know if you guys want to try and look that up. I haven't looked it up yet myself, but I think I've talked about it previously, how all these other plastic little servos I've had, I feel, are trash. So we'll test this one out. It feels better than these, since these have like this plastic spline. That one had a metal spline. So hopefully it works a lot better. I actually took out the electronics from my BMRX, and it's back in pieces again, only because this motor right here, this motor and ESC combo that I picked up, I have not uploaded the video yet. Yes, I have not uploaded the video yet, just because it's been taking me a while to edit. But I shoved this in one side, and I shoved my receiver on the other side, and I didn't heat shrink it, and this was touching the brass deck on top or on the bottom. Regardless, they were touching somewhere, and I ended up shorting out my sensor board either on the ESC or the sensor board either on the motor, because I noticed that my wire was ripped. And when I swapped out the sensor wire for another one that wasn't ripped, this started smoking again. My friend told me try unplugging the sensor wire. After I unplugged the sensor wire, it works, but just brushless, non-censored. But it's still smooth. I can still program this and everything. But the problem was this torque. Like, I could hold it and you'll see that it'll finally give, but it's not smooth. If it was smooth, I should be able to just freely rotate this. So because this is a torquey motor, I'm going to put this in here. And in my BMRX, I'm actually going to put something like this. I might even put this in there, but I don't want to, just because this is a 6,000 kV motor. And I wanted to put like at least 3,000 or 5,000. But this one, as you can see, is smooth. So if I put this in there, it should roll on its own weight. I just needed an ESC, and I guess I should just put this in there because it'd be the cheaper option versus buying something like this for $100 and like something dollars, and a brushless non-censored is like $30-40 for a rocket system. So I'm gonna put the electronics in here, and then that'll finish my video on this car until I actually start driving it. But so far it's really nice. I believe that the length of this car can be from 90 millimeters to 120, since you can unscrew these right here, push it in, and unscrew the middle plate and push it in until you reach here. But so far, really happy with the build quality. Great design. So I had messed up previously, and I had put the lower control arms upside down, so the actual ride height was very low, because the way they are positioned, as you can see, it's higher on one side than the other. So when I had them flipped, it was dumb low. And now you can see I have a good amount of ride height for both the front and the rear, because this car is really actually known for being able to have great suspension. Just wanted to show how clean the wire setup is on here so far. Just need to get the receiver wire coming down here as well. So here are some pictures of my final setup. I managed to get everything under the top deck and in the middle, so it looks very clean. I just need to find some wheels for the rear so I could fit in the gap and the tucking from the BRZ body I ended up going with.
Now we feeling for that cake now. Niggas rich, we call it bounce. We know they'll be broke a while. Said I got my gang now. She love me from the waist down. Pull up like a greyhound. We slide on you like playgrounds.